Hello everyone, we are back on the map Silent Sea with another 1v1. We have good old Birdman himself, Ptaq, on the bottom in blue is playing as Cortex, and on the north side we have the legend rAndy in red playing Cortex. Interestingly enough, we actually saw something there. rAndy was about to overflow metal, and he started the production of a solar power plant so that he wasn't overflowing metal, but didn't finish it, just enough so that he could use some up and then finish off the metal extractor before finishing it. That's very, very good use of your economy there. You know, early game, 1 or 2 metal can make, you know, not that big of a difference, but you know, when a metal extractor only costs 50, and let's say you lose 10, you're losing a fifth of metal extractor. And that can make a big difference when you're trying to expand. Both players here starting off a little different. And we've seen this map before, and it turned into quite an interesting match. Both players have actually chosen different start positions. Now, when it comes to this map, there are several choices for start positions. We've got this one, this one, this one. And I don't think the start box allows you to start on that hill. But I mean, you also have this very much corner, but this limits you significantly in terms of expansion. Now with Ptaq going, Taku going air, he's actually going for a very early bomber, which is an interesting call. With him going air, it does give him the ability to get these corner metal extractors. Now these are often ignored on this map due to the fact that they're so difficult to get to. Now, this early bombing run will not be something that rAndy will be expecting, but we can see him here getting those engineers out and then actually planning on reclaiming the factory straight off. Now, we've seen a few people play very heavy navy on this map, which is obviously a good call with how much water there is. However, you are limited as to what you can do. So, for example, you will be able to hit this metal extractor and maybe this one with some of the heavier tech one, but all the ones up here and here, you're not going to be able to hit those with normal tech one boats. This little shallow path here actually can also have boats pass through it, and we've seen battleships actually pass through that section as well. So it looks narrow and thin. Oh, quite shallow is the word I was looking for, but it's actually not. At least Shuriken actually out from Ptaq. Shuriken is coming in here with the intention of trying to EMP anything that was being built. The bomber goes over and doesn't actually get to drop a bomb. That's a big mistake. And this bomb will... What is Taku doing? He's trying to get the perfect bombing run angle, but he's just giving rAndy more time. The bomber is just having a bit of a weird fit there. And he does manage to get 4 windmills, but that bombing run could have taken place ages ago. And gave rAndy plenty of time to build the 2 air defenses. Interestingly enough, I think we might be seeing an attempt at a steal of an engineer here. Unfortunately, I think this should have been done a little bit beforehand. As that... Yep, there we go. Unfortunately, the anti-air is up well in advance, and that will not help him out. We can see rAndy has transitioned over to air himself to get some fighters up, and Taku has actually transitioned over to a bot lab. Now, we saw this in a previous game. A lot of use of grunts. Now, you'd think, well, what the heck are you going to use grunts for on a map like this? Well, what they do is they tend to stick them around the edge, not only to provide vision, but also just to stop any like amphibious units getting on board, any hovers, something like that. You need something to be able to react with. However, these are going to be purely defensive. They're not going to actually be any form of aggressive play here, which is quite dangerous to kind of just give your opponent, or investing so much resources in something that's not actually going to be able to do much. Looking at Taku's Hercules here, he's just kind of waiting in the hope that he can put it in a position where rAndy's not going to see it. And at the moment, that is the case. The fighters are up in the air, and it has been spotted. And there goes the air transport. It's a shame. We did actually see a construction unit steal.
Battle paused.
Battle the other day, and it was quite funny. But unfortunately not today. Here comes the single fighter though. Deal with this lone construction aircraft. It will not get that metal extractor done in time. Fortunately, he needed 8 more seconds, but he does get 2 of the 3, so that is useful. Looks like he's transitioned into hovers now straight away as well. Taku switching factories left and right, whereas rAndy here just quite calm, collected, taking his time. You can see that both players very even. Currently, rAndy is ahead when it comes to economy, though. See all of these metal points up here, quite good value ones, and rAndy has them already, and Taku does not yet. Taku constantly switching factories has not helped him in the slightest when it comes to that regard. Now, this play of the hovercrafts is a very good idea. It's going to help him considerably start to get a bit of force projection. The issue he may have is if rAndy builds some shurikens. These little fast attack hovercrafts are not going to do anything against that. We'll get that LLT trades. Surprisingly, Taku hesitates there for a second. He will get the single constructor, but unfortunately won't get the second. He's going to try and position his hovercraft around the back. There we go, he does manage to get the second. And positions his hovercraft around the back there to try and get some friendly fire damage to help finish it off. rAndy actually getting the corner mexes as well, which is something you don't see often. Now here is where we have Taku able to do some damage elsewhere on the map. With hovercrafts, he's able to come in anywhere, which is where those, early grunts made a big difference. This is forcing rAndy to react very quickly here. It looks like he might be actually planning to try and pick up the hovercraft. Here come the bombers. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to make any impact whatsoever, other than maybe getting rid of these metal extractors in the corner. Which is where he's going to go with it. Yep, exactly. And this is very, very good harass from Taku right now. Finally, a shuriken comes out, but the air defense units get there just in time, and rAndy needs to kind of change out factories maybe in order to deal with this. This one goon that could is going to cause him so much problems. Fortunately, he's now going to be away from the air defense. The shuriken will do enough. You just keep it there for a minute. Well, whilst that one was going around, you've got another 2 here. Some missile units coming out. That's a standard tank, actually. And a bomber is slowly getting rid of Taku's expansion mexes as well. Surprisingly, rAndy massively overflowing energy metal right now, and that is because there's a Tech 2 transition on its way. So this is a difference here. We're seeing Taku invest into combat units. His plan is to try and do as much damage as possible. And whereas we can see rAndy here just hoping to get into Tech 2. And then we'll see what his plan is from there. He's going to have to go some form of amphibious or maybe naval. He could go Tech 2 tanks, which would give him the amphibious tanks he requires. He could obviously go Navy, and that would pretty much serve his purpose for being able to take out Taku. What is he going to do? Currently, nothing. There we go. I'm surprised that this anti-air hovercraft has somehow managed to get it all the way around and does manage to take out the shuriken that was EMPing this single goon. And he is back in action. 10 kills on this goon so far. And it is doing a great job at causing rAndy trouble. Just slowly digging holes in the defense. The tanks are now coming in as well. rAndy's really struggling to maintain this. Fortunately, the goon gets gets reclaimed. And rAndy in big trouble, losing a lot of his expansion. You can see the difference in, surprisingly, the difference in metal income is all over the shop right now. But currently it looks like it's resting at 38% in favor of Ptaq. Here comes rAndy with the D gun. Didn't have enough. There we go, manages to get that one. Looks like he's planning to not D-gun this one so that he can reclaim it. Yep, there we go. And Sheldon's actually come out as a defensive unit here. That's an interesting choice. Ptaq does know that his opponent has Tech 2 now. He probably saw the factory. That's a good point, actually. We can check. No, he did not see the factory. So Taku currently still unaware, but in a very strong position, Taku, right now. He can quite easily just get up and cause harassment to him, to rAndy in pretty much anywhere right now. The question is, what is Taku's winning plan? We actually now see a transition over to Navy for Taku. Now this is his 4th or 5th factory change. He started with bots, went air, hovercraft, now boats. Yeah, so 4th factory. Meanwhile, there's still a scout over this side, and this engineer has been idle and hasn't rebuilt that metal extractor yet. There we go. And these tank hovercraft, definitely very effective at dealing with this sort of stuff. Oh, ducks. Now that is not a bad idea. Ducks very, very effective. Also, not only that, but he can use the amphibious bombs here as a very effective use of, underwater units. Taku actually may have a problem here. He's only got a few grunts. And these ducks are going to be very effective. So ducks have their own torpedoes here. Boats should, in theory, win out, though. Not only that, but these ducks are going across land. And there we go. Grunts with the flanking damage here, actually managing to take out the duck. And unfortunately, there wasn't enough units there, enough ducks for it to really worry Taku too much. He is amassing more ducks, but we see yet more economy damage being dealt to rAndy here. Trying to get does manage to get the 2 Tech 1 energy converters. Not a massive loss there, but it will impact considering that, you know, rAndy's lost a lot of his metal economy income. Luckily enough, he's gone Tech 2, which has kind of helped with that. And that is why we're actually managing to see him stay so close. But Taku does know that he is now behind when it comes to tech level. Taku is still only on Tech 1. He looks like he's trying to prioritize just winning with Tech 1 only. But she should surely know he's going to be outscaled very soon. And here we see the use of the boats in this channel here. Technically, rAndy's commander is kind of cut off now. And again, these boats are able to, you know, do a bit of damage here from the shoreline. And unfortunately, rAndy doesn't really have anything he can do to stop it. Oh, good use of Twitchers here. Twitchers being able to build oppressors. He doesn't even need a factory in order to build them. You can also do the same with ducks here as well. Doesn't need the factory to build them. He's desperately trying to keep the boats alive, but it may end up him losing the Twitchers, and he's just reclaimed the factory, so that's not good either. Taku able to keep control of the sea. And rAndy's in a really sticky spot right now. After losing control of the land and the sea, he needs something in order to come back here, and I don't quite know what he's got in mind. Good placement of those there. He's not going to get hit from the shore as easy. He is still losing, like, land. Luckily enough, with these Tech 2 out and about, it's up in a place that's not going to be, like, hit. But he needs to make sure he's building some energy and stuff up here. He does have this single Sheldon that unfortunately doesn't have vision and therefore can't shoot. The single Tech 1 Raider up here would make a huge difference. Unfortunately, build power is not really an option for him right now. We see him desperately trying to use all this metal income he's got and build a bunch of oppressors. But Taku actually going back into air again. Very dangerous. And when we look at what can Taku see, Taku can see enough, especially with this little guy here going around, to provide him vision. Randy's come in a dangerous position here. Oh, surprisingly, this guy is blind firing as to where rAndy's commander was, but isn't no more. Not enough damage to really worry the commander too much. Going to end up on about 60 health. Nope, still at 72. This is a very interesting take here. Building a warden specifically just to deal with that. Could he not have just built like a bot lab? Less energy. Guess he needs the metal right now. Now we're going to see some congestion for the sea. These, bear in mind, all of Taku's boats are around the back mostly. Subs are not going to do great versus his oppressors, obviously, because they're got the torpedoes. Will help, but not enough. We're going to see them pretty much evaporate. And there we go. Both 2 destroyers, well, only 1 sub actually died there, luckily enough, but the rate that he is able to build these destroyers with these Twitchers is humongous. He's able to churn them out in a matter of seconds. Meanwhile, we see Taku preparing another bombing run, but this is causing a detriment to his navy here. And if he himself loses control of the sea, all of his base will also get attacked, and he doesn't have the Tech 2 advantage that rAndy does have. Now, obviously, assault frigates are made for cunning destroyers. So he does have an advantage there when it comes to unit count. I'm waiting, Taku. I'm waiting for your bombing run. Taku just ceding more and more ground here. Ah, waiting for the shurikens. Smart move. Very smart move. Neither player really has much in the way of, you know, well, has 0 fighters. Both players don't really have much in the way of air defense anymore. It's kind of been whittled away. And here come the shurikens. It takes quite a while for these shurikens to EMP something, especially these big boats, but that will be enough. Taku to come in and absolutely destroy the navy rather of rAndy. rAndy's plan was good, but unfortunately with no air coverage, it's not gonna help. And rAndy desperately trying to run back what he's got left. He's trying to build a naval lab himself. This may be a bit too late here with only 3 destroyers to hold the front. His commander is in a very, very risky position here. Remember, a commander can't degun in the water. Trying to use his commander here to micro them to shoot down the shurikens. Can do a very good job at that. Fortunately, rAndy's commander in danger. 11% health. And here comes the bombing run. Managing to catch the comm with the bombers. Well played, Taku. Just was able to keep on top of rAndy the entire game. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to subscribe for more bar content, and I'll see you guys next time.